I'm on.
Shane Byrne is a young actor from Dublin. He's part of a group called THEATREclub, and you guys are down in Kilkenny for the Arts Festival.
Yeah, we're down in Kilkenny. We're running from the 11th to the 15th, and we're on lunchtimes at 1 o'clock every day in Cleere's Theatre, Ireland's at the back of the pub in Cleere's. Ireland's biggest, smallest venue, I believe they call it, and we're doing the show Group Therapy for One.
And it's your second time, Shane, around doing Group Therapy for One. Last time you had us on a bus from O'Connell Street to Harold's Cross, to your house.
It's the third time. It's the third place it's been in, but it's the second version. We only had two versions. Originally, it was on as part of Absolute Fringe, and it was on in. I did it in my house, and the audience came on a bus with the director, and she told them all nice things, which I'm not entirely sure what she said to them. I still don't really know. But she tells them nice things about me, and then they get to my house, and I tell them all the other things about me. Because the idea of the show is it's called Group Therapy for One, and I talk all about myself and my problems and kind of my fears and my feelings and all those kind of things. Tell the audience all about those things. So she tells them the nice things, and I then ruin it by telling them all the horrible things. But this time it's different. But the reason it was in my house last time, we always said because it was just the best place to put it. It was like, if it's a show all about me, performing me, why not put it in my house? And so that was fine. But then if doing it in Kilkenny, it's a whole new place. I don't live there. So we thought we thought about putting it in another house, and then we said no, we'd leave that because it's better to kind of find another space. If it's a new space that we have, that's fine. But then we thought, well, we have to make it then a theatre show if it's in a theatre. So we've had to kind of update it and kind of theatricalise it, I suppose. Last time it's very much, we called it it still is kind of, but the bastard child of stand-up comedy and performance art. It's somewhere in the middle of those. Whereas this time it's much more theatrical. There's much more things. I do much more things happen, and much more things go on around me just talking. It is me talking again, but much more things happen this time, I think.
One of the things that people should know about the description and about even the name Group Therapy for One, it is Group Therapy for One.
Yes.
People don't have to kind of...
No, it's not one of those horrible things where I'm going to drag all your secrets out like one of those Bulgarian companies and all those people do. It's not like that. It's Group Therapy for One, and I'm the one. They're just the group. It's for me. It's all about me. I'm very self-indulgent.
You're very self-indulgent. Yeah. Tell me a bit more about you. Why should people come to see this show? Because as you describe yourself, you're just gone 20. You're nearly 22.
Yeah.
You're living in Dublin.
Yeah.
You've got a big group of friends, and you're going through, I suppose, what every young person in Ireland is going through.
Yeah, I think it kind of keeps in line with the rest of THEATREclub's work in that respect. We make the work, we always say, very much about kind of ourselves, not ourselves as literally as this one, but it's kind of influenced by our own experiences and the experiences of the people and kind of things around us. We base all our work on that, and like the last show, THEATREclub stole clock radio, what the fuck you gonna do about it, hinged very much on the idea that, the idea of us being just about on the cusp of everything, and the whole country crashes down around you just when you get to the age when you start to make something. And I think, even though this show is not about that, it's still very much framed with that, because that's always there. So if it's a 21-year-old person talking about themselves, like boy or girl or whatever, talking about themselves, it's always going to be filled with not just their own, because it is my own personal stories and things and my own personal experience, but it is going to be certainly mirror other people's experience too. I think people will see a lot in it. I think if you come to the show, it's not like you will learn a lot about me, obviously, because I talk so much about myself. But I think there's definitely something that people will get from it. I think there's things that people will recognise in what I'm talking about. And I think as well, from any age, if you talk with someone who's directly my age, they'll be right in there. And I think if you have somebody who's even a few years to 20 years older than me, they'll still recognise it, and they'll still remember a time when they felt like that. And then for younger people, I think I like to kind of hear what kind of younger people think of it. I like hearing what they say, like people who may be 14, 15, 16. I like hearing what they say, because it's a word that they know is coming, but they actually have no idea about it. You think it's going to be one thing as you get older, but it's completely different. So I like hearing what they say. But I think it is accessible to anybody, I think, and I don't think it's full of in-jokey stuff amongst in-generation jokes, if you know what I mean. In-joke for a generation, I don't think it's like that at all. I think it's quite open, and anyone can enjoy it, really, I think.
And the other thing that people should know is it's not just a group of young people going to put on a show. THEATREclub are an established theatre company, very successfubly in Dublin.
It's happened very quickly for us. And I always say, it has happened very quickly, and we've been very lucky with everything. We started in Dublin Youth Theatre, and we were very lucky with who we got to work with in there, and we learned huge amounts in there, and we were very much dedicated members all around of the youth theatre, not just performing and creating the work, but also we did everything, and we were kind of involved from fundraising to doing the lights to whatever. So we kind of learnt about doing lots of things. We learnt about everything that goes on around the show there, and that was a huge thing for us to learn. And then as we moved on, it was great. There was things like Project Brand New, which is a platform. It's run by 4 artists, and it's a platform for new works and new ideas, to hatch new ideas. And before we had THEATREclub, we had a show in that. Grace had written a show in that, and we performed. Doireann and myself both performed in it. So that was kind of our first jump in. So we've been very lucky, but I think it's important to remember as well that we work very, very hard. We're working all the time, and it's and only now we're starting to get some money. We were lucky we got some money from the Arts Council for one of the Fringe projects this year, and that's been a great help. Like, we've obviously learned now more that money comes with all its own problems, but we do work very, very hard, and we ran a whole festival and project called The Theatre Machine Turns You On, and we sold 97% box office in the Cube, and we had 3 shows a night and sold them all out all the time and all those things, and it takes a lot of work to do that. And I think anybody looking in thinking, oh, who are these, like, we have this brash image of these, like, whatever kids in the picture of us like this and all this stuff, we have those things, but I think behind it is a hell of a lot of work that has to go into making it happen. And as well, I think the idea of, we work very much, we have these things like the DIY culture and things like that go on, whereas we were very much of the attitude, well, of course, we didn't really buy into that, because of course you're going to do it yourself, because people aren't just going to do things for you. So we're very much about, I mean, you can ask them, you can ask for favours, and you can ask if you need a carpet for the show and you don't want to pay, you can ask the carpet man, will he lend you his carpet, and they generally do. So we've been very lucky that way, and we've kind of learned about finding a way to do things, and it's really paid off for us. And I think we're kind of building up more of a following now as we move on and getting more kind of, you know, the more articles in the paper and the more shows and all those things, it tends to pick up, and we're getting, what I think we're most happy with, we're getting new audiences coming to the theatre, and we go and do mini kind of performances in nightclubs, and we have a show and we take over a nightclub and a song plays, and then we're dancing on speakers and all those things, and we do that stuff to try and get people to come into the theatre. It's not about, like, it is the bums on seats, but for us it's very much about trying to bring new audiences in and letting people know that theatre is an art form they can engage with and that they're allowed to engage with.
Yeah, this isn't a Shakespearean show or
it's not something, you know, that goes on in the Abbey and it's like, I don't care, like, it's not, I'm not nothing against the Abbey,
no,
obviously,
I know,
but, like,
no,
you know,
no.
if you're talking about, like, say somebody who's my age who has never engaged with theatre before, they're going, I'm not going to the Abbey, like, sitting there, they think it's like, you know, red wine and all those other things, and red velvet, all of those things that come with it, whereas we want to let people know that you can come in and that it can be like going to a gig sometimes too, or it can be like something that they really, really will enjoy as well, and really kind of engage with and things. So we want to let everybody, as many people as possible, know that, and that's what we're kind of, it's one of our big things, bringing new people in, and I think we're achieving it slowly, but we're building it more and more as we go.
I mean, you said earlier it's kind of like stand-up comedy, but it is, like, people laughed at what you were saying this evening. Not laughed at you, hopefully, but laughed at what you were saying.
Maybe a mix of both.
Maybe a mix of both.
Yeah, they do laugh, yeah, and I think, like, I try to be funny, like, I'm genuinely like that all the time. Lots of the things that the jokes are off the cuff. Some of them are built in, that I planned, I'll say them, but most of them just come off the cuff. I like that kind of thing. I love that for group theatre, because I can literally, like I say in the show, I can do whatever I like, really.
Yeah.
I have places to get to at the end and marks to hit along the way, but I can do whatever I like in the middle, really. I like that.
So it's on 11th to the 15th. It's 70 minutes long, roughly.
I'd say it varies. I'd say 50 to 70 minutes. I'd say we'll try and keep it under an hour in Kilkenny. I'd say because festivals, people try and run around to everything. So
tickets are €15. And where can people find out more about THEATREclub?
If you want to find out about THEATREclub, you can go to TheatreClubbing, which is THEATREclub with a bing at the end, .blogspot.com. You can search for us on Facebook. TheatreClub, uppercase theatre, lowercase club, all one word. That's how it's done. Find us on Facebook there, and we're on Twitter as well, under THEATREclub on Twitter as well.
That's Shane, one of the best actors working in the country today. I love his stuff.
People always say it.